All right, we are back. Can't wait for the matchup that we are about to watch right now. It is the pro semifinals in what could be the finals. I mean, this was the finals before in the last event, you know, and you have not the last event. What we have is San Diego Dynasty taking on, you know, the Russian Legion, and there's, you know, a little bit of controversy. You know, Oliver was up here talking on the webcast. J-Rab didn't like what was said, and J-Rab's definitely was out for blood. You know, Dynasty has played phenomenal this event. We talked about, hey,
only lost 3 points.
Only lost 3 points out of 4 games. They scored 23 unanswered points before Aftershock finally was able to get a point on them. And they're facing the Russians. The Russians took down a very hungry, infamous team that, you know, did not want to go out like they did. Fedorov played amazing. J-Rab played good as well. Britnikov played great. I'm really looking forward to this matchup,
first point is super huge. Like, usually the first point is not as big as this, but as Dynasty's been on such a huge roll, the Russians know they need to score first.
Yeah, and they got to buy, so they're coming in. They're coming in cold right now.
It's totally. They need to prove that a good team can score on these guys, because right now they don't think anyone can score on them. They think there was 3 fluke points by Aftershock.
Yeah.
So they're going to come out here and want to just continue that roll and win today.
Yeah, and you can see it. Look at that. Even to the last second, Dynasty in there, getting those last few moments of talk about what they're going to do and the intensity. You can already feel it.
And they're off. Here we go.
Here we
America
go.
versus Russia.
Here it is. So we're coming in.
And not a good start for Dynasty. 2 off the break.
So they immediately lose. It looks like Mesa and Yosh Rao.
They're 2 lockdown guys.
Yeah.
Russian makes it all 5 in their spots. In the snake already, in the 50 snake already.
And all the way down the Dorito side as well. Oh no, the referee is going to get out there and...
Nope, nothing.
No, it looks like he's clean.
Oliver's in the snake now.
So it's Oliver.
See if his Russian buddy can get a little payback for him.
It's Oliver and Fedorov battling in the snake right now on your screen.
Russians are in the 50. Oliver's butt's up pretty high if that guy in the Dorito 50 can see him.
Yeah, he's got to be careful coming up over that lane right there.
And something looks like, that came through the crack. But Russians come right out of the gate. Let's see if Dynasty can hold off.
So it looks like 5 players left alive for the Russians still.
We already got these Dynasty guys. Back corner, and only 1 guy for Dynasty on the Dorito side.
Oh, and Oliver.
Trade out.
Trade out with Fedorov.
So it's 2 Dynasty left. That's a good trade out for Fedorov right there.
That's a real good trade off. Get Oliver off the field. You never want Oliver out there when you're in this situation.
And we've lost another Dynasty. Dynasty has lost the first point here, and with some authority, the Russians come out.
Yeah, Russians pretty much, they have 5 bodies left alive, controlling the pace and the tempo in the early part. They got 2 kills right off the break, and just like you were saying, that's such an important thing against Russians, and we talked about this before with the Russians, is that you don't want to go down to the Russians. Right. Because if you start going down a couple points to them, they're used to that.
You don't want to force your hand against them.
Yeah, you want to put them into the deep water immediately.
I don't know if I can express how mentally that was a big game for Dynasty, really, because, you know, they did get the easy bracket, and we've always talked about the more you grind, the harder your bracket you come out of, the more prepared you are for this game. And Dynasty didn't have a hard bracket. And when they played a semi-decent team, like Shock, they did lose 3 points.
Yep.
And then you come out here, and your very first point in the morning, you lose in that fashion.
Yep.
I mean, that point took, I don't even think it took 2 minutes.
No, and honestly, it was decided rather quickly. You know,
it was just
the Russians had position and they had a bunch of kills really early on. All right, let's check out the replay here. So you're looking at that's Fedorov in the prone position, and then boom, he comes out.
2 great players right there.
Yeah, 2 of the best.
Right.
2 of the best in the business. Fedorov and Oliver taking each other out. Great trade out for Fedorov, because in that situation, now we get it from the flip side from Oliver's perspective. Boom, so Oliver and Fedorov trade out. You do not want to have Oliver out on the field when you're trying to come in and things are going crazy.
Especially with the one mistake I would have said there from the Russians was Fedorov was way up here by himself. If any time you had a chance was if Oliver had shot him and filled his spot, now he can shoot that guy in the 50 Dorito too.
Exactly.
And you know he's capable of it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what Dynasty can do here as they change the lineup. Now they have Steven Pitts and Dalton Vanderbilt over on the snake side, which traditionally, those are 2 Dorito players normally. You got always strong Ryan Greenspan going to be in the back center.
Glenn Takamoto broke a ball right here before we start this point.
Oh, look at this, 23 seconds, and Glenn Takamoto's going to have to clean his gun and clear it out real quick.
And it's not going to get as clean as you came out of the pit fresh off the game. So, might be helpful. Who knows?
And on the Russian side, Konstantin Fedorov, Justin Rabikov. That's that duo that I was talking about, Davey.
So Fedorov's just going to run 2 points in a row here.
Yeah, well, they played him pretty much nonstop until he got tired. They played him 4 points in a row in that first game, and now
I don't like the breakout for the Russians here. They both look like they're running. You can see it.
Yeah, and then they hold up a little bit.
But they both make it.
Oh, look at this referee running over there, and he's going to call Fedorov out, and if he's hit, that might be a penalty.
Oh, and Dynasty makes the snake. Dustin Vanderbilt makes the snake here.
So look at this. Now on the flip side, Fedorov getting taken out off the break.
Steven Pitts right behind Dalton.
And let's see
J-Rab in the snake.
Let's see what Justin Rabakov can do here.
J-Rab needs to get it.
And
Dalton is shooting at the back center guy. He's going to get him. That pin, you just cannot live in that long.
Yeah, especially when the field gets widened out and players
Dynasty's got a good setup here.
Yeah, and look at now, Dalton Vanderbilt, who is in the snake, he's getting shot at by Justin Rabakov. Who
Just shot the tower guy out. Dalton is having a game here. Two Russian guys left. That's it.
Dalton feasting, already got himself a 2-pack.
Three.
He feasts. Now
Get a
3-pack. See if he can get the 4th.
Get a 4th.
Let's see if Dalton can get it done here.
So, let's only one guy left. What are they doing?
This game up.
Yeah. I think that looks McCormick over there on the other side. He needs to know what's going on here. There's only one guy not even shooting at you. There you go. Spitz knows what's going on. Spitz is going to handle this, no problem. Oh, Dalton gets shot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Dalton getting taken out, but Steven Pitt's going to polish off the last guy.
So I would run that line again.
Yeah, I would run that. I would run that line again too.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, they just come out and score a good point.
And I think Mike's going to do that.
Yeah, so, and Mike Hinman, really good coach. In fact, one of the best in the business, probably the best in the business. And you need a dominant personality like that to be able to control the egos and the talent that they have on Dynasty. I mean, you're talking about from 1 to 10. Probably the best lineup that Dynasty's ever put on the field. Right. I mean, they have, especially with the development of Mouse and Alex Goldman. Dalton Vanderbilt's coming to his own. Steven Pitts has been doing this for a long time. Incredibly solid lineup.
So here's what's going to happen. Dynasty's going to run that first point again. They're going to run that same line again, which to me might be risky. It might be a little early to go ahead and go back-to-back because you don't want to get these guys in a funk.
Yeah.
Yes. It is 1-1. You don't want them to think they can't win a point.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's actually an interesting point.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit more. I mean,
but in a race to 7, you want to get your guys out there, and you need them to kind of get out of that funk if they just got smashed off the field.
Let's check out this.
Say it's a fluke.
Look at this. Dalton Vanderbilt feasting on Justin Rabakov right there. You see the referee making that out call. And there it is from the opposite side. There's Justin. He's kind of getting pinched. He's really there's not a lot he can do out of there.
He didn't do a lot there.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. He was already starting to, as Dynasty was progressing up the Dorito side as well.
Right.
The Russians were losing tons of bodies at that point.
Dalton I guarantee the Russians are going to try and shoot Dalton off the break next time.
Oh yeah, and this is what we expected to see, that back and forth battle between two of the most arguably the best teams out there right now. The other team to throw in that mix, which we're going to see after this matchup, is Damage.
Right.
And then the upstart, young, hungry team coming up and making it the farthest they've gone in the Pro Division so far is Vicious.
Surprise of the day.
Yeah, surprise of the tournament, man, and congrats to them.
So what we have here from Dynasty is it looks like a mixed line. We've got Alex Frazier and Oliver going down the Dorito side this time. Stevens Pitts is back out there again with Mouse on this Snake side. And it looks like Ryan Greenspan. So they're going to play Steven Pitts and Ryan Greenspan back-to-back.
All right, here on the flip side, you're looking at the Russians right there.
Which is Malloy, it looks like.
They got Mishka, Malloy. It looks like they're going to run Fedorov again. So they're just running Fedorov nonstop over there, and that's not a bad call. Now they switch up. He goes all the way to the back corner. You're looking at Konstantin Fedorov on your screen right now.
If he's hit, this could be a penalty. If Mouse is hitting there, this could be a penalty because he looked at it.
Yeah.
G2 for the Russians. G2 for the Russians here. But Mouse has made the snake. So here we got 5 guys left for the Russians. And Mouse is in here trying to shoot across the field. Konstantin Fedorov gets into the snake now, where he is looking fantastic playing the snake this tournament.
Yeah, he's looking good, man. Definitely looking solid.
Fedorov, been around him a long time. You can get in his mind, though.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. If he makes a little mistake and you can talk a little crap to him, he's got big ears like a rabbit.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Well, he listens to the hype.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so and he's in there. He's looking at the battle. You're looking at the battle on your screen right now. That's Fedorov in there and Alex Goldman. We talked about who could be Player of the Year. And we'll see how how this tournament goes. But so far, Alex Goldman, and it's not a big surprise, but he has been so dominant all year long for Dynasty.
Right.
Again, really kind of coming to his own. Younger guy still, but he's really matured on the field and off.
I noticed Fedorov's body language in this snake now is way more patient than I've seen in the past. Like he's in there prone, just laying around. Like he used to be a jump around kind of guy. I think he just shot Oliver from across the field, which would be no. Oliver tried to back up out of that tower and get a shot on him, and Fedorov was waiting for it. So we got Alex and Oliver stuffed up on that drill side. They haven't moved since the breakout.
Yeah, well, are they getting? It must be the heavy guns in the back.
Well,
center.
you can look and see the Russians have the back center and the guy on the snake side shooting across that. That's 2 lanes going across.
Yeah, and they've just been basically zoning up right there and putting a lot of paint towards those Dynasty players on the Dorito side of the field. And now Fedorov makes his move up to the next spot. Ooh, and now he's got a better angle on Oliver. You can see Oliver just screaming. Such a good communicator.
Yeah.
Oliver's always talking.
What Russian's got to be worried about here is if Mouse can make that same bump, that guy cannot live in the back center in the pin.
Yeah.
That's the same way Dalton just shot that guy out this point. Russians have got to be noticing that all the time. But they love to stay back there. They're confident living
Now,
behind their guns.
is it just Mouse over here on the Snake side of the field for Dynasty? Now, that could be a big issue for them. Because, though Alex Goldman is great, he's looking at Fedorov, and also he's got a lot of guns coming at him cross field. So if he should get shot over here, that's really going to open up things for Fedorov.
The move for Fedorov is to go trade with Alex Goldman right now.
Yeah, especially now that Britnikov just moved right behind him.
There should be a code in some kind of Russian language to go get him.
Yeah.
Get him off the field. They just shot Alex out of there.
Oh, so it's just Oliver, and Oliver's going to make a move to Dorito 1. And Oliver, I think he just shot the back center. The back center's in there barely living. He's trying to get as tight as possible. He needs to get out of that spot. It's a terrible spot to be in right now.
Now Oliver's wrapped. The guy on the Dorito side needs to help his back center guy by wrapping around. Now he needs to get out of there now.
Yeah, and it's going to happen really.
Right when he gets into Dorito 1 here, Mishka.
Dude, Mishka slides in there.
Mishka should get his guy out. Now Alex is going to shoot at him. The back center guy for the Russian should fill, just like he's going to now.
Yeah, and there he goes. Now finally gets out of that back center. It's a good thing
Malloy's just going to come down here and get Mouse, I think. He's going to wait for Oliver's dead.
So here comes the highway, Fedorov. And so he's able to trade out. Fedorov trades out with Alex Goldman, which was definitely the move, just like you were talking about.
You can see right there. Fedorov plays to the crowd. So if that crowd backfires on him, it hurts his ego.
Yeah.
Instead of being worried about this being 2-1, he plays a little momentum of the crowd. But Alex Goldman is susceptible to that too.
You're right, he is.
So maybe he's smart enough to know that he can mess with him a little bit. Because that's 2 games in a row that Fedorov has done damage, or no, 2 games this game that Fedorov has done damage in that Snake.
Fedorov has really stepped up. I'll tell you, he's really stepped up today. It was a lot of him. I wouldn't say carrying the Russians on his back, but Kirill.
Which guy's that?
Looks like Kirill running off. I'm sorry, Pantalev running off.
I gotta tell you right now, Pantalev, in my experience, is one of the most solid guys on their team.
Yeah.
He played that pin the whole game when most people can't even play it for 45 seconds.
Well, it's pretty interesting that you say that, because I was going to say that Fedorov played so good in that first match. We'll get to Pantalev in a second, because Oliver said something good about him as well. So look at this. Here's that trade out right there. You got Fedorov taking down Mouse, and Mouse takes him out too, but it doesn't matter because that was the last player left alive. You still had Britnikov there. Now look at it from the flip side. And there is Alex Goldman getting shot. He really should not worry too much about trying to get a penalty. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But back to Pantalev is that, we had Oliver up here, and he's like, I think that's the best player on the team. And I was like, that's a bold statement.
He's sound.
I was like, that's a bold statement. And that's exactly the same thing he said. So it's strange you guys both say the same thing about that guy, because, with Mishka, Britnikov, Justin Rabikov, Fedorov, all those guys and Blonsky's great too. There's so many stars on that team that you don't really hear his name, Pantalev's name, very much. But he's always there. He's doing his job, and you need those guys that do their job to build the championship, the stars around.
Right. To his credit, you don't need to hear his name. Those guys respect him. Guys in the pro division respect him. So he doesn't go out there looking for the name. You see Fedorov playing to the crowd and all that stuff. That's not Pantalev's gig.
No.
Pantalev is a solid guy. You saw every time he moves, he's shooting at something.
Yeah, you're not going to see Pantalev doing a dance or hyping the crowd up or anything.
He doesn't even. He has the regular old black beanie, regular goggles that they gave him out of the truck.
All right, let's see if Dynasty can get something going here as they're down 2-1 right now against Boston.
It had to be a mistake on Dynasty's part on the breakout there. One guy ran in front of the other guy.
Yeah, didn't quite have their lineup set there, but they were able to make it out 5 alive.
All 5. We have 10. We have 5 on 5 here. All 10 are alive.
But they're 5 alive though. But they're spread wide across the field. Not a lot of aggression on their move off the break.
I think this is going to be the feel out point. The first 3 were kind of went with the flow. This is going to be a longer drawn out one. This is not Fedorov on our side. This is somebody else, which I wish I knew his name though. We got Pantalev in the back center. Mishka really concentrating on the Snake side. Looks like Oliver Lang is thinking he can make this move to Dorito 1. I think he can as well. I think we have Oliver Lang and J-Rab on the same side. If that's J-Rab in that... No, it's not J-Rab. We have the all-Russian line here.
Yeah, I think this is the all-Russian line.
So Alex fills up behind Oliver.
So slower point right now, Davey.
Into the Snake. Russians again. First into the Snake.
And again, it's Fedorov in the Snake.
That is Fedorov.
So
is that Fedorov?
Yeah, it's Fedorov. So Fedorov getting into the Snake again. Constantly a thorn in the side of every team that he plays today.
Yosh smartly gets out of that back pin because he knows you can't live in there if he gets to the next spot. Mouse is playing with serious control. Gets across Fedorov's lane there.
It's almost like Yosh and Pantalev are the same type of player
right.
on different teams. Yeah, so now Alex Goldman mirrors the move of Fedorov. But little better field position here for the Russians as they have Britnikov right behind Fedorov in the insert bunker right behind the snake.
Yeah, I do like that better. I think Mesa needs to get over here and get with Mouse. Mesa is concentrating on that drill side. That drill side seems to be going fine for the Dynasty.
Yeah, they got 3 guys over there. You know,
Yosh is playing this side of the field, though.
And look at Oliver. Oliver is now making his move. You can see top left-hand portion of your screen.
The ref running in there.
Referee checking him out, and he's clean. So Oliver is still alive, and he is in Dorito 1. And now
and the Russians right in Dorito 1. 2 great teams.
Yeah,
Pantalev makes
chess
a fill.
moves back and forth.
Just that little, like Pantalev makes that move before Yosh. That's just one step faster.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we talk about, those little things. Now, again, both teams at 5 alive right now, and a lot of time starting to come off this clock. 11 minutes and 41 seconds left as the Russians are up by a point here against Dynasty.
I think Oliver might have just shot Fedorov. No, that was close, though. They're going at it again from across the field this time. So now we have Yosh off the snake side, too, so Mesa has to switch over.
So yeah, he switches over and very technical point.
I don't think Mesa can fill with Malloy locking that zone down.
You know what? This is one of those points where it's going to be who's going to be the first to crack, who's going to get shot out of their bunker first, who's going to make that dynamic move.
I don't like that move by Malloy. 2 right next to each other like that, and he just gets clipped in the goggles by Alex.
So Alex takes out Britnikov.
Now Mouse can just come get this. Can just come get Fedorov if coach tells him on the sideline here.
Well, he needs to get Mesa to come behind him though. Mesa's still in that little cake.
Not doing anything because Malloy is dead. That was a really big mistake by Malloy.
Oh,
Russians into the 50. I bet you Oliver will get him pretty soon.
So Kirill making a move into the 50-yard line, Dorito. And Oliver is still in Dorito 1.
Nice move by Fedorov.
Retreating. Fedorov retreating back to Snake 1. He's the only guy over here now.
If Mouse doesn't pick that up, you know what he's going to get, an empty bunker when he goes to get him.
Yeah. There's enough people on the sidelines, though, that Mouse should be getting that information to him.
Or getting a lot of bad information.
Yeah, or could be getting countercoached.
Yeah. And, you know, at these big games, I mean, you've been in them, I've been in them, you got to block this off. You're not getting any help from these people.
You got to focus. It's all about focus right now. Look at Oliver. I can hear Oliver from all the way on the opposite side of the field.
I kind of think in this situation, and this is going to sound really weird, the Russians have an advantage with the coaching on the sideline because it's in Russian. You don't get a lot of people that speak Russian on accident. They can counter-coach you.
Yeah, there's no counter-coaching going on in Russian.
Every Tom, Dick, and Hank out here can speak English and yell at something at you, but Fedorov knows when it comes in Russian, it's coming from his guys.
Now, I don't think, does Fedorov still have 1 pod on his back?
He looks like he's out of paint.
Yeah, it looks like he might be out of paint right now, or at least only have the paint that's in his loader.
I'd like to see him try that Archie move. He looks like he's got the skills to do it. He can jump out here and shoot Alex right in his knee.
No, I think he does have 1 pod left. I can't quite tell. No, he doesn't. Does not have some. No, Fedorov is out of paint. Only the paint in his hopper.
I don't think
right
Mishka
now
has any paint in his pack either.
Can we see Alex Goldman's pack? I know he's definitely empty on the left-hand side.
Looks like Oliver's completely empty too because he does nothing.
And here comes Oliver. Comes out wide and gets a shot on Kirill. Nice job by Oliver Lang.
They trade out Alex.
They trade out Alex.
And the Russians at Pantalev right in there again.
They get.
Alex Frazee wraps around and shoots Mishka too.
So here comes Alex Frazee down the Dorito side. He's in Dorito 1, but ends up getting a kill out of there.
Mason needs to get in this game.
And that even things. Oh, actually, no, that makes it a 2-on-4 right now. So this is a really good situation for Dynasty. Should they be able to take this point here and tie it up?
Mason needs to get in this game.
Yeah, Mason needs to get in this game. And look at this, retreating all the way to the back as Fedorov maybe hoping somebody left a pod back there.
And Alex does not know he's there either.
Now Mesa finally getting right behind Alex Goldman.
We have a trade on that. No, Alex is alive. Just Fedorov alive here.
No. Frazier got taken out.
Well, then there should, because he was talking and shooting afterwards.
Well, they still got Yosh Rao, Mike Mesa, and Alex Goldman. It's just Konstantin Fedorov.
Is this where you blow the horn? You got one of your best players out there. You don't want him to get lumped up.
Yeah, Mesa comes hunting down the center.
He's playing every point, and there you go. That's what I'm saying. That's why you blow that horn.
Mesa's got to be careful there.
He doesn't have a name.
Well, to be getting the overshooting penalty right there.
Exactly.
He put a couple balls on him.
You got to carry that Lang name or Fedorov name to get away with that. It's unfair that that's said, but it's like the best hitters in baseball get the strikes or get the balls called.
Yeah. Well, also Oliver was saying up here because he was like, he's like, oh, I get the most ridiculous penalties all the time. Like, you know, somebody else could talk, but if I say anything, this and that, so you know, he would be arguing with you on that.
Yeah. He also gets away with a lot more.
Well, look at this. Score is now 2-2, Davey, with 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Incredibly long point.
Very long. I don't think the Russians were prepared for that.
That was a really technical point right there. But yeah, you watched, Fedorov was out of paint. He still played well. I mean, everyone else died around him. I mean, he had to retreat all the way back.
Right.
Let's check out this replay. So you're looking at Fedorov and Britnikov.
This is the mistake right here. This is the mistake of the point.
Oh, and Britnikov and on the head check. Wow, that was only really a head check,
Mistake of the point, though. That cost him the point, I believe.
Yeah, well, it was very close until then, and now look at this as Oliver was making his move, and he trades out, and he's backed up by Frazier, and then here's Mike Mesa running down Konstantin Fedorov in the back corner, and a little hand pump by Alex Goldman. Alex Goldman played great in there.
Yeah, he did. He made a really nice shot on Malloy there.
On Malloy, yeah. So nice job by Dynasty to get themselves back in this match. The score is now 2-2. Anyone's game at this point, and tons of time left.
The only flaw I see right now in both sides, I see a flaw in Dynasty is that over here with Mouse and Mesa, Mesa's not coming with him. It's leaving a big window. And then the exact opposite is happening on the Russian side. Malloy is coming too close to Fedorov.
Yeah.
He's coming in there with him.
I agree. I think that Mesa probably could have done had been a little bit closer than he was, because he stayed in that cake for a long time. Maybe that was the plan. I don't know. We don't know what the coaching is, what type of coaching is happening there, what's being said to these guys as far as what their job is supposed to do. So maybe that was his job. Hey, if this happens, then you need to stay here and lock this lane down. But also, you got to be able to play with what's going on right that second on the field. And I think he should have been in that Aztec right behind the snake a little bit earlier.
Here we go. 5 seconds, a critical point here.
But regardless, he ended up winning the point, so it's all
can't
good.
say too much.
Yeah,
we got Blonsky out here, I think, on this side. Fedorov had to take a break.
Here we go. Oh, Dalton looks like he might have left early. Oh,
and he gets shot
in the head.
So, Spitz dives in there and fill out, but he's still far away. Russians are out wide.
I think they finally sat Fedorov.
And Dynasty's made it into 3-1. He got bounced going in there. The ref's checking him.
Yeah,
he's safe.
This is the first point Fedorov hasn't played.
J-Rab's going to go all the way from the back center to this bunker right before the snake. McCormick for Dynasty has been playing great from what I've seen.
Yes, McCormick's solid, man.
He's going right up that Dorito side.
And now filling out is Ryan Greenspan.
Glenn Takamoto is locking down the snake side.
Ryan runs so low to the ground.
He's short.
He is very short, but he still, even for a short guy, runs really low to the ground. Makes it harder to shoot.
This is a big move. He went right by Glenn's gun. See, that's not smart, but it works.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, if you get in there and get situated and the guys are zoned up on you, if you take that quick move, sometimes you're going to get through the lane. Now, the guys will still shoot you, but you're already past that gap.
But you didn't check off the lane. He didn't know the guy wasn't shooting in that lane.
That's true. But regardless, he's in there.
Right. Hey, he's playing, and we're not.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough for him in this spot right now because he does have a lot of guns. There's still 4 bodies left for Dynasty.
Glenn is
5 for the Russians.
Hard. Russians are slow, methodical. If you're watching on TV, you just see how methodical they're like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they are. And look at this. Justin Rabikov, and now he's only person in the snake right now. And Steven Pitts is going to have to find a way to get in there. The only problem is he has no backup. It's just Steven Pitts over on this side.
Right now, Justin is occupying Mark McCormick, Ryan Greenspan, and Glenn Takamoto.
Yep.
So he's got that whole side looking at him. And Steven Pitts is the only guy locking down the Dorito side.
Yeah, so Justin Rabikov just methodical right now, chilling out. He, I've talked to Justin when I've had him up here before and about this specific thing. When everyone's shooting at you, just hang out, man. Just, you are doing a job by tying up 3 guns.
It's doing a great job.
Yeah.
What I don't like is this guy. I guess the guy in the corner has a really good angle on that Aztec right before the snake. So he might want to stay there, but you see him checking his paint there right now, just making sure that he can last a long time in that spot.
So you're going to see points like this because this is the semifinals, and both these teams are used to playing in the finals, and the Russians did not have a good event in New Jersey. They had a terrible event. They didn't even didn't advance to Sunday, which is very rare for them.
Once again, the Russians put 2 in the snakes. They have 3 guys down this one line.
And Britnikov is right by him.
Glenn is living by inches right now.
Yeah, Glenn's not a big dude either, but that spot gets really small.
I really think Mark McCormick should get off this. I mean, not to say that he's not doing a great job, but getting up a little further getting in, kind of just doing something.
Being a thorn, being an aggressive thorn, I think he's just really worried about not letting or he wants to make sure he doesn't let the Russians pound down this snake side, because it's not like Steven Pitts is going to keep them from doing that. It's the guns cross field that are giving the Russians trouble over here right now. And I wouldn't even say necessarily giving them trouble, because look at them. They look really comfortable in their bunkers, even though J-Rob's in a real small spot, but it's keeping them from advancing. So
what I'd like to see out of these two right here, honestly, is this Russian guy might be able to, like we saw Archie do. I'm keep going back to this. He can back up in this snake right here and get Steven Pitt's pack. If he comes back out here with all the pressure on J-Rob, especially now, he's got all the freedom in the world to play that snake however he wants.
Yeah, and now Justin has made that move past the 50-yard line. You see our eye in the sky right here. Direct drive down look at Justin in that snake.
We'll definitely see if a ball hits him in the pack from there.
Yeah. So tense moments here as this very, two technical points in a row of these powerhouse teams. Neither one wanting to flinch, neither one wanting to make a mistake. 4 minutes now, Davey. We're starting to get down to where this could really play a factor in actually the victory.
This is going to be huge,
because now we've cracked the 4-minute mark, and these guys are also going to start to run out of paint and get to the point where they're going to be forced to make moves because they're just not going to have paint.
There's a good chance this point will end at 2 minutes, somewhere around the 2-minute mark.
I agree, especially because there's still so many bodies on the field.
Yeah.
Russians are still 5 strong right now, and they have real good field position over here on the snake. Dynasty not even in the snake. They just have Steven Pitts. And the 3 guys, look at this, all 3 guys on the Dorito side are just all gunned up right now on Justin. So Justin's signing these gun up. Now I'm wondering what is stopping, other than Steven Pitts, there's nothing stopping the Russians from coming down the Dorito side.
I think they know the situation just like how you explained it. They have the best field position right now. They have the bodies, and they know if they can win this. As I say that, the guy goes into real one.
Well, I think that was inevitable, though, because looking at the way things are going, eventually he's going to be able to get across that lane, because Steven Pitts does not have enough paint to constantly flood that lane with paintballs. So eventually the Russians are going to be able to get through that gap. Look at this. Now they're chucking paintballs. Nice throw by Ryan Greenspan. Throws a strike over to McCormick and throws him a pod. So nice job.
Have you ever seen Ryan play baseball? He couldn't throw a strike, but he could throw a pod.
He actually can hit real well for not being. Remember when we were playing?
Hand-eye coordination. That's why he's one of the best panel players in the world.
Yeah.
I think Blonsky's going to be huge in this game back here. If that's Bart, but that's
Matt Blonsky.
That's Matt Blonsky, right?
Matt Blonsky.
All he's doing right now is making sure Steven Pitts is not getting this snake. Now, eventually, that job's going to have to come to an end when you need to win this, because we're down to 220 now. We talked about
Blonsky looks like he's out of paint.
How?
He's picking up paintballs off the ground right now. Which tells me get close then, man. If you're the 3rd guy deep and you don't have any paint left,
J-Rev has one pod.
Then jump past him. You know?
They just shot Ryan out of the corner. Ryan likes to fill those corners like those in the spots. I don't like those fills from Ryan.
That was a huge mental error by Ryan Greenspan, getting shot. An uncharacteristic mental error by Ryan, trying to fill out to the back corner. He gets shot, so only 3 Dynasty players left alive, and right around that 2-minute mark.
Right, one more kill. And
this could be the game,
Mike's going to have to make that decision.
He's going to have
one more shot. One more Dynasty guy dies. And nice shot.
And Malloy gets shot out of the snake, so now it's 4-on-3 with Blonsky completely out of paint, and he's going to just easily glide into snake 1. McCormick looks like he's picking up paint off the ground.
How much paint can Steven Pitts have left? There's 5 empty pods laying behind him.
He did carry a lot of paint out, or a decent amount. I think
he's going back there right now.
I think he's got
none.
Oh, and he
saw the hand go back, and
I thought he had one. No, he definitely loaded the last pod. I saw him with the pod about 30 seconds ago, but
he looked back there and came back with nothing.
So now
Glenn's got to be real low too. He's surrounded by pods.
Look at this though. Look at the 1 minute and 15 seconds left. I mean, this could go to overtime now. Now we have a situation where it's tied up. So now if I'm either one of these teams, I'm trying not to make that mistake.
Right.
Because I want to take this to overtime now.
Right. Well, if you're the Russians, you've got the positions. You need to win it now.
Well, yeah, but now you got to do it now though, because if you lose and then Dynasty wins, you need to give yourself time to get back in the game. Look at this though. The Russians in the 50-yard line, Dorito.
They should go bunker McCormick out of there. At the same time, when they can get Glenn. Oh, he just got Glenn.
Nice shot. Justin Rabikoff blows Glenn apart.
Oh, he got Steven
and then
Pitts
he gets Steven Pitts, but he gets traded out. So it's just McCormick left.
And they get him.
They got to blow the horn.
They did blow the horn. They already blew the horn in 40 seconds.
That was smart. That was a good job by Mike.
Justin Rabikoff came through right there.
Justin Rabikoff. Big players have big games, and Justin Rabikoff proven why he's one of the best in the business.
Game's not over yet, though, but if the next point's anything like the last 2, this game is over.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. Can Dynasty score a 42nd point to try to tie this up, taking overtime. Looking at Justin Rabikoff right there on your screen. Amazing job by him, Davey.
Very smart play by here by Mike Hinman. He called the timeout right away, so that gave him a 4-minute break.
Yeah.
He didn't let it run all the way down.
Very smart.
So he's going to get his best 5 guys out there. And but the downside of that is the Russians are going to get their best comeback out too.
Yeah, well, I'll give that up, you know, to get, especially after that loss at that point.
Right.
You know.
But man, you're kind of broke there. That point is so emotional. I don't know if kids have ever been out there, but you and I have been out there. When you lose that, it's just like deflating.
It just totally deflates your
forced.
mental, that toughness that you're out there, and that's what you have to fight against though. Because in Dynasty they've been to the well so many times. All right, let's check this out here. All right, so what you're looking at is Britnikoff is going to get shot out of that the spot right behind Justin Rabikoff. Boom, he catches one, and he's like, oh my God, did I really just get shot right now? But it doesn't matter, because Justin Rabikoff was there to save the day, and he ends up getting a kill, and then runs up, trades out with Steven Pitts, and Blonsky is left alive, no paintballs in his gun, doesn't matter.
This is a miraculous shot by J-Rab. He's got maybe 5 paintballs left in his gun. He hits him on the run in the head.
On the run. And then also takes out Steven Pitts, and just Justin Rabikoff destroying Dynasty's snake line over here to put what could potentially be the winning point on the board. The score is now 3-2 with just 41 seconds left to play. If you're Dynasty, what play do you come with right now? It's got to have something.
You're forced. Your hand is forced.
Yes.
What's the worst part here is they know what you're going to do.
Yes.
The only way to win this point is to take that yellow thing and stick it in their net. So that's one thing you know they have to do. Yeah. With that little A bunker back there, you can see that.
Yes.
So you definitely put one of your guys that you know can make it in there, in there.
Yep.
There is also an advantage to the fact that you can run further because they're going to be running. Mm-hmm. So you can run to this tower and look in.
Yeah.
You know, this snake side is really where you're going to win or lose if you're the Russians.
Yep.
If you can get to this little Aztec out here on the break, then this is over.
Yeah.
Because you can then lock off the whole field. These two guys should just look straight at each other and be like, I've got you and you've got me. And that little yellow thing is not going past us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to put it right there. The little yellow thing is not getting past us.
It's not going past without 6 hits on it.
Defend the gates.
Yeah. It's like the old walk-on days. Who's watching the flag?
Exactly. And realistically, that is what it's about right now. It is. It's like all the way back to old school walk-on days.
The Russians can do what some teams can do is like fight fire with fire, and you run somewhere too.
Yeah. Well, and
but then you
also,
can put the ref, and then the refs can come into it.
Yeah, it's very true. You never know. Maybe we're going to see a penalty if one of the Russian spins gets a major penalty, that immediately is going to give the point to Dynasty to tie it up. That could come into play. That happened in the Aftershock game. Are we going to see what Aftershock did to Vicious to try to just to get back in the match? Even though Vicious ended up winning, and again, best game of the event. Though this is pretty amazing. But this is a way more. This is a very technical battle that's going on right now. It's like two evenly matched teams, just so close on paper. And here, Sunday's competition, World Cup, biggest event of the year.
Well,
240 teams here.
Where all the American Russian fans came from. What happened to going for good old US of A?
There's a ton of them. Ton of fans.
So here we go, folks. 10 seconds.
And the stands are absolutely completely packed. Standing room only here for what could be the last point.
Oliver's going down that drill side hard.
Here we go, and on the breakout as the clock starts to run, Russians screaming out wide.
Russians make everything.
And so does Dynasty. No, they lose Alex Goldman getting to the snake off the break, but
30 seconds.
They make it on the Dorito side. And here they come. Ryan Greenspan now went to the snake side, but they need to get something going.
Yosh is going to go up that A.
Yeah, Yosh wants to get up to the A. He does. He makes the move, but they lose Ryan Greenspan, Davey, over here.
And they use Yosh, too. Oh, no.
Yosh is still alive.
Oh,
Got
look at
bounced,
Fedorov.
But he gets shot. Fedorov is
it.
coming to put the nail in the coffin for Dynasty. And that is going to do it. Fedorov doing his dance, and that's going to do it for Dynasty. Nice job, Russians.
I don't know if Oliver will be talking about J-Rap so much anymore.
Yeah.
And in point general, you shouldn't talk about anybody you might have to play.
Yeah, Oliver, he doesn't care. He just wants the battle. But it's like you said, you wait the giant, But
well, he didn't take a straw poll of his teammates, did he?
So that is going to do it here for our first semifinal matchup of the Pro Division in Sunday's competition. And nice job by Konstantin Fedorov and Justin Rabakov and the rest of the crew from the Russians as they win this matchup against Dynasty 4-2. And again, Dynasty looks so stunning throughout the prelims. I mean, they scored 23 unanswered points, which is unheard of. But you know what? That's all yesterday. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And though they didn't play bad, the Russians played better, and the Russians will be advancing to the finals.
And who would have thunk it? 4-2. Did you think this game was going to be 4-2?
No, when we talked about it, I was like, I think we're going to see a bloodbath. I think it's going to be like 6-7, maybe in overtime.
What we saw was a very, very technical play paintball game with a critical error here. No, they're critical at this point.
Yes.
Little errors here and there
from
both teams. But who survived those errors?
Yeah.
Malloy played terrible for the Russians.
Yep.
You know, there were some mistakes made on the Dynasty side, but at the end of the day, it was Fedorov playing well.
Yeah, Fedorov played amazing. So here it is. Let's watch that breakout for Dynasty here and all the way to Alex Golden getting shot, trying to make it out on the break, and they spread the field, especially on that dreidel side, and then on the stunts, making those moves. It just wasn't enough, though. They got chopped up because look at those guns up. As the Russians know, all they need to do is spread the field, roll their guns, and they get 5 alive, and that's what they did. They just rolled the guns, and there was Ryan Greenspan who was trying to make something happen. You see, and he's just gets shot in the head, trying to come around that bunker. And that was pretty much it, as there's Fedorov. So stunning today. Excellent play by Konstantin Fedorov. And
let's see the handshake here from Justin Rabab.
Such a good job by Fedorov, and the rest of the crew is going to do the little dance. And that's it. Yeah, Fedorov letting Dynasty know what's up. So, and you can see a dejected and disappointed Dynasty coming out. You can see the frustration on their faces as they will be going home. And the Russians will be advancing to the finals, but do not go anywhere. We have our second pro semifinal match coming at you next, which should be a great matchup. A very strong damage team playing an upcoming Vicious, who have fought hard and heavy to get into the semifinals. There's Oliver Lang and the end of the tournament for him and the rest of his boys. But do not go anywhere. I'm Matty Marshall with Davey Williamson, and we will be right back.